Good day, everybody. Hi, I'm Steve Farrell, and I am a co-founder and the executive director of Humanities Team. I'm coming to you live from Boulder, Colorado, in our Humanities Team studio here. And you can see who I've got here as a guest today, Christy Whitman, who I'll introduce properly in a moment. Christy, thanks so much for joining me. Where are you coming in live from?
Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm so
Scottsdale,
happy to be here
Arizona.
with you, everybody.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, so happy to have you with us. And isn't Christy lucky? This time of year, going into the winter, Scottsdale, Arizona is a pretty destination location. So
It is.
beautiful. Okay, so I want to shout out to the people here. We can actually see you all. Some of you are on camera, Humanity Stream Plus. Yeah, there you go. We got some waving back. Thank you for joining us. It makes it more fun when we have a live audience like this. And it's not just me and Christy babbling back and forth. So thank you all for being in the studio. And later, when we get to questions, if you want to come on camera or just put a question in the chat, please do. Also want to shout out to Christy Whitman's friends and the council and the organizations that she leads. Big shout out to all of you, to our Humanities Team friends and partners, colleagues that are out on our Facebook pages. And then John Raymer and the Sign Network, they're at sign.network. They broadcast out to lots of Facebook pages. So shout out to all of you. Thank you guys for being here with us. Because it's a live program, we are able to take questions during the program. You just need to put your questions in the chat. So the earlier you do, the better chance that Christy and I will be able to get to them during the hour. We're going to have Christy go off camera just a little before the top of the hour because she's got a program right after this one. Okay, so our theme here today is to master your consciousness. And Christy Whitman is a spiritual channel law of attraction life coach, transformational leader, and two-time New York Times bestselling author. Christy is also the CEO and founder of the Quantum Success Coaching Academy and has helped thousands of people around the world achieve their goals through empowerment, seminars, speeches, coaching sessions, and products. Christy channeled her first book on the 7 principles of the law of attraction through a series of spiritual downloads that completely changed her life. Since then, she has developed a powerful relationship with a group of spiritual mentors that she channels called the Council. Today, Christy and the Council are joining me to discuss mastering your energy, to master your consciousness, and how you can become more aligned with your divine design. So, this is all Humanities Team stuff. So we're always really grateful to have Christy with us because she really is a master. And Christy, we've actually come across many people, over our 20 years who say, oh yeah, I went through Christy's program, was coached by her and was certified by her and all of these things. So you really do have people all over the world that have been taught by you. So, great job.
Thank you. I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful.
So as we jump in here, Christy, let me share. Christy has, I was checking this morning, our conscious streaming platform that's global, and we're now, with our new programs, we're translating in 75 languages. Isn't that something? I think that's the first in the industry to go to 75 languages. Even our country coordinator down in South Africa was jumping out of his chair because down there they have so many different languages, that most of the industry doesn't get to. And we went down the list and we had, over half, I think, of the languages there. So, hooray. So, and Christy has 60.
I gotta save my ignorance. I didn't even know there was 75 different languages. That's amazing,
I know,
Steve.
yeah, good question. How many are there? Yeah, so right now we're at 75 on the new program. So, and Christy has 64 video trainings on the Humanity Stream Plus platform right now. I just checked this morning. So boy, all of this great coaching and mentoring and wisdom and the council even is all right there on Humanity Stream Plus. So you guys that are with us in the studio in the green room, boy, dive in and check this out. You don't want to miss it. And people that are watching that don't know anything about it, try her free program first at humanitiesteam.org. Christy, together with Deborah Poneman, created a free program that's really got lots of wisdom and tools. And if you go to humanitiesteam.org, and then on the top, it's got programs, and you pull that navigation down, it says free programs, you'll find that Christy and Deborah Poneman program. Check it out, and then you're probably going to want to go deeper, but it's like potato chips. You have one, and then you want to have some more. But so Christy, let me jump in here in the green room. We were just talking kind of at many different levels about our work and today's world, where people are maybe more pensive, a little more thoughtful. There's some pain pushing people out there, and how our work, maybe it's been interesting and attractive to many people over the years, but maybe it's even more so. Maybe there's even more of a wave coming in, so to speak, because people are wanting to just kind of experiment with other ways of living, where we're living into our deeper values, more aligned with universal principles, and that's really what your work is about. So, isn't it? I mean, you of course get into relationships, abundance, aligning with the divine energy of the universe, so many different things. But at a top level, it's really just understanding these universal principles and living into them, isn't it?
Well, that's how I started my conscious spiritual journey, because we're always on a spiritual journey. But, 28 years ago, I started learning about the universal laws and I started to apply them. And sometimes it worked and other times it didn't. And I tried to figure out what worked and what did work and, why they were working. And so then I just started talking to people about it. And at that time, most of my family and friends were not interested in learning. If they're like, she's lost her mind, the universal laws and law of attraction and, abundance and all this. And it was when I had my book, my very first book, download through me, that I got it published and started speaking in spiritual bookstores and churches, and like New Thought spiritual bookstores and churches. And of course, people were telling me more. I want to learn more, and they wanted to be coached, and they wanted to be guided, and they wanted to just sink their teeth into it. And so this is the work I've been doing for over 28 years now, personally, and about 23 years professionally. And it's the basis of everything I do is understanding that everything is energy. And we have heard this ad nauseum so much, that everything is energy, but it's really understanding, if everything truly is energy, and it is, how do I then, as an individual person, affect my own individual life? Because if we look at our relationship with money, or with another human being, or, with our success or our bodies, everything is energy. And so as we look at our own individual consciousness, we can't worry about what the economy is going to do, or who the president's going to be, or what the gas prices are doing, or what my mother-in-law is going to say, or any of that, because we don't have control over other people's consciousness. But what we do have control over and influence over is our own. And our consciousness is what we say, what we think, what we perceive or believe, what we feel, and then what we do, what type of behaviors or habits that we do in life. And we could just be sitting there, as most of you know, we could sitting there and all of a sudden have a negative thought of something. And as that negative thought takes on momentum, it then creates a feeling. And then we feel lack or we feel bad. We don't feel good. And then it continues to create this momentum where we then draw something into our lives, or we're pushing against or resisting that thing coming into our lives. And so to understand that everything is energy, and that all energy carries a vibration, I like to think of it as like a piano keyboard, right? It's like energy is not just energy. There's different varieties and variations to energy. Some are high, some are low. Some feel good, some don't feel good. And we're the ones that get to choose by the energy that we give out through what we say, what we think, what we feel, what we believe, and what we do. And when we're attuning to, say, the vibration of joy, we feel good, right? The vibrations of abundance feel good. The vibrations of lack always feel bad. And that's how we know. We can look into, okay, in this moment right now, am I feeling bad, neutral, or really good? Because there's think of it as like three buckets, right? There's the bucket of lack, which doesn't feel good. So it's all those lower level vibrations, all those lower level even emotions that are on the lower end of the side of the scale. That comes from a perspective of lack. I don't have enough. I'm not going to have enough. And when we're in that space, we feel the worry, the doubt, the fear, the frustration, the anger, the sadness, all those lower level vibrations. And if we're feeling that on a consistent level, then we're giving that out as a vibration. And then those vibrations are matched. Now, fear and worry and doubt and all that, that's part of our human experience. And we're meant to feel these emotions, to feel them and then let them go, to be informed by them and let them go. It's kind of like, you're in your kitchen, all of a sudden you hear an alarm go off, or you're driving in your car and an alarm goes off in your car. You don't want to ignore it. You want to pay attention to it and go, oh, okay, check engine light is on. Maybe I need to go call my mechanic, or, oh, look at that. The gas is low. I got to pull over and get gas. So emotions are those warning signals to us. But if we're continuing to be in a set point of anger or a set point of doubt or worry or fear, then that's what we are sending out as a signal. That's the energetic relationship that we're having with any subject, even just life in general. So lack always feels bad. And then the second bucket, if you will, is that's where it's neutrality. That's where, it's not the, like I'm over the moon excited about something, but I'm feeling like in this moment right now, I'm not like, I'm feeling peaceful. I'm feeling very grounded. I'm feeling a sense of fulfillment. I'm feeling satisfied. And that doesn't feel bad. It feels good, right? And then there's the higher energies, which is the joy and the excitement and the fun and the freedom and all of those higher vibrations that also come from being in that state of abundance. So at any point in time, us as human beings, we're either in lack, in satisfaction, or we're in abundance. And think of yourself in those ways. Like, where do I sit on the vibrational scale? Because then that lets you know if everything is energy, and it is, and I am a cooperative component with that energy, I am an energy receiver. We're always receiving in energy all day, every day. If I am an energy receiver, I'm also an energy container. I'm holding energy, and I'm also transmitting energy. So as a human being, we are an energy receiver, we are an energy container, and we are an energy transmitter. And what we do with those three aspects, we're then sending out those signals out into the universe, and the laws of the universe, such as law of attraction, is matching that vibration.
Yeah, beautiful. Boy, and you break it down so that you really can't get lost in that little narrative that you step through. This is why our daily practice is so critical, isn't it? Because, if I look back to my early years before I knew anything about elevating my consciousness and things, and the laws of the universe, I was just on the roller coaster of life. Oh boy, today is really kind of a bad day, and then, oh, today's kind of a great day, what am I going to do today, and so on. And then as we come into this conscious lifestyle, boy, this is the thing. It's just like eating, the first thing in the morning and throughout my day, actually, at least 3 times, where I'm intentional and even metaphysical, because the metaphysical is where I really go into that creating space of just knowing, that our work in humanities team is about supporting people in the conscious journey. So the way I look at it is a supra-consciousness thing. When we decide that we want to match the health and well-being of those around us, boy, the universe just turns that faucet on and says, oh boy, we got a match here. And so if we, in our daily practice, are just seeing that where resources are coming us to support us, to support people on their conscious journey, there's awakening, we're feeling the oneness, we're living consciously what we call the new spirituality, where we understand, it's a spiritual universe, and we're living into that in a really beautiful way, where all of those things are happening, where we take our attention to that, like you say, there's the piano, instead of those low notes of I don't feel good and lack and all of these things, what am I going to do? I'm up on the high notes, so boy, this is a good, we're really bringing it on today. Those resources are coming in today.
We're the piano player. We get to choose the notes,
Yeah, and the daily practice is where we're choosing those notes. and just staying in that, on those notes, which is so crucial. And we all have our own daily practice, our own way that works. But it's and then holistic lifestyle or other things too. I won't get into all of that, but there are other things too, in terms of how we live our life that really support this living in the higher notes, and where the universe is just bringing on these resources to support. Because the universe is saying, you're trying to, where we want to help the universe create health and well-being, the universe says, hooray, right? And helps bring it on.
Yeah, I mean, but you think of us, each of us is a conduit of energy, right? So if we want to affect the positivity on the planet, we have to be a conduit for that. So if we're walking on the planet and we're in anger and frustration and, we're in this place of resentment, that energy that we are literally radiating out, literally through our feet and onto the planet, it has an effect. But the good thing is that when a group of people like this, right, when two or more are gathered, when people like us can come together and say, I want to be a positive influence in the world. I want to be a conduit for, life affirming energy on the planet, and what comes through my energy field and on through my feet and onto the planet that I walk on, is positive, then. And it's been said by many different, I know the council also says this too, that one person vibrating at a higher vibrational rate counteracts millions that are not. And so, we can't control the masses and what the masses are doing, but we certainly have, again, influence and control over what we choose to do. And it's always our choice. That's one of the gifts that we've been given, is free will. And we always have, even if it's a thought in our own head, even if it's a belief that we have a choice to choose to continue to believe that, or to choose a different belief.
Yeah, beautiful. And again, you break it down and make it so simple. It is simple if we understand it. And of course, this is your work. It's why you create the courses and coaching and mastery and stuff. So let's go right into some of these programs I mentioned. So there's 64 right now on the Humanity Stream Plus platform. So we're going to go look at a clip. This is called Attracting Your Ideal Partner. So with energy, Christy takes it in all directions. A partner, a lot of people want to find that right relationship, or they want to understand how abundance, can support their right living, and just how to be happy every day. So, and her work goes in all these directions. So this one is Attracting Your Ideal Partner. We're going to go take a look at this clip, and then we're going to come back and talk about it.
When that broader, more expansive part of you is merged and blended with the part of you that is physically focused, that's when you begin to draw into your life all the experiences and outcomes you've been longing to create. So while this course is specifically focused on magnetizing your soulmate, just know that the work you'll do here will have a powerful effect in every other area of your life as well. So before we dive into what the soul is and how we can enhance our connection with it to attract more love into our lives, I first want to create a basis of understanding about how this process works, because everything you'll learn here has to do with deliberately applying the universal laws that govern the process of manifestation. There are really only three main principles that you need to understand. The first principle is that everything in our physical universe is made up of energy. This includes things like buildings, trees, furniture, which look and feel solid to our perception. And it also includes things like thoughts, emotions that are more subtle and intangible. Now, I know you probably heard this dozens of times, but I really want you to get it, not as just a concept in your head, but as an experience that takes place at a cellular level in your body. Everything is made of energy. The chair that you're sitting on right now is made of dense energy, but it's still energy. We know from quantum physics that even our physical bodies, which appear to be solid and well-defined, are made up almost entirely of energy. So everything that you are, your body, your breath, your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas, your beliefs, and all your desires, the base of all of it is energy. So just go ahead and close your eyes for a moment and notice that you can actually feel the energy that is pulsating throughout your body, that's moving along with your breath. This energy is the very basis of everything that you perceive to be solid or material. Everything is made up of energy.
Okay, beautiful. And we have heard, everything's made up of energy, but the way you, again, break it down, you go down, you always go deeper, even the furniture, our thoughts, our feelings. So, which really brings in the fullness of what your message is. Also, I haven't shared this with you, I don't think before, Christy, but, of course, we're 20 years old as a nonprofit, and we work with lots and lots of faculty. I do find some of the last program we did together was I was like, wow, this is one of the best programs I've ever done, because you just packed it with so much wisdom. So
thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
Christy
that,
is
Steve.
really the real deal. She is amazing. So, and we're always so happy to have her with us. Okay, let's jump right over to the next clip here. Actually, before we do, I'll just share. Ella is out on Facebook and says, thank you so much for all you do. I appreciate all the programs, and they have done so much for me. So a friend out there that I wanted to acknowledge you here too. Okay, so let's go to another clip here. This is from A New Kind of Power. This is the masterclass now that Christy Whitman and Deborah Poneman created. It's 16 modules, and it's up on the Humanity Stream Plus platform. So let's go take a look at that, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
We have the ability to tap into insights and resources that we may never even consciously be aware of when we're trying to go at it at our own, when we're not connected to the divine light. You see, the non-physical source energy that is responsible for every act of creation is a stream of energy or of consciousness that we all have the ability to tap into in every moment of our lives. And when we are tapped into it, can you feel the difference? That's when we have the most exalted, beautiful experiences possible on this human experience, on this human plane. I mean, flashes of insight, brilliant inventions, glimpses into the possibilities for our lives that we've never even thought about before. Falling in love. All of these amazing experiences are the direct result of being tapped in and in alignment with the divine energy stream. But is this divine energy stream the only stream we have the power to tap into? Absolutely not. Think about it. There's also an energy stream of energy being offered by mass consciousness. There's that stream of doom and gloom that you can tune into if you want to watch the evening news. There's a stream of consciousness coming from your own internal dialogue that sometimes broadcasts negativity or pessimism or even insecurity. There are streams of fear, streams of hatred, streams of tolerance and love and compassion. There's streams of all energy. In fact, I want to submit that there are many streams of consciousness as there are human beings on this planet. And because as human beings, we're both energy transmitters, we're transmitting energy, and we are also energy receivers, we have the ability to tap into any of these energy frequencies.
So I love that. And Christy, so for me, one of the things, as we bring this down into daily living is just when these thoughts come in, as they do throughout the day, a particular thing you mentioned, there can be all kinds of things that can happen that can be troubling, challenging, those lower vibrational energies. Is just training ourselves to kind of like make them helium balloons and just let them go. Just let those go. Right?
Exactly.
So,
well, it's amazing. And we could be in a grocery store, right? We could be in traffic and we could be feeling something. And if we're sensitive, and this is where the whole kind of conversation of empaths come in, if we have a sensitivity to energy, we could have someone that drives down the road and maybe they're aggressive and maybe cuts us off or does something. And then we could take on that energy and we can end up feeling irritated or angered, or, we could then feel off ourselves, or sitting at a grocery store in line for something. And all of a sudden someone has some negative energy that they're vibrating with, we could tend to pick it up. And so really the key to being able to still be an empath in the world, to still be sensitive, because working with energy, you do get sensitive, understanding what subtle energy, what's the difference between joy and fear. It's subtle, right? But it's like you could feel it. And if we could feel it, then we could feel it from others as well. And the tendency is that we then feel for others and we start to kind of calibrate with other people's energy instead of staying in our own and staying very deliberate in our own energy. And so the key to that is really being able to fill yourself up. Number one, choose, ask yourself, what do I want to feel? And if you're not clear, if you're not like, well, today I want to feel joy, or today I want to feel passion, just the energy of today I want to feel good. I want to feel light. Right. And bringing in that energy of light, think of yourself as like a big energy container and filling yourself up in your physical body, all of your cells being filled up with that energy, with that light, even through your whole entire energy field. It's like seeing yourself as a big energy container. Before you get in that car, if someone drives past you and they're agitated, it kind of bounces right off of you. You don't take it in. Or being at the grocery store, or going to a family function, or to a mall or airport, or wherever it is, by you continuing to fill yourself up and attune to it. Now, it's almost like sensing like a waterfall of light, and almost like the imagination of getting into a shower and being under a shower head of light, or a waterfall, where you just feel this flow of energy coming in. All of you could do this right now. It's just because each of us have, like we said earlier, your own free will and choice. So by attuning, I want to feel light. I want to feel love. I want to feel success, abundance, whatever that frequency may be. By you asking, you're taking your power of intention. By that asking, the universe always gives immediately. So as we are allowing yourselves to receive that energy, imagine that all of your cells are like tiny little cups being filled up with that frequency, and allow yourself to fill from the top of your head to the tip of your toes and even out into your auric field, just like, so you're literally in this container of light. And practice that more and more. And the minute you feel your energy dipping, that's when you can ask for more. It's continuous. It's like that waterfall that doesn't run out of water. It's free flowing, always there. You don't have to go buy it. Don't have to spend anything. Don't have to go prove yourself. It's right here, right now for each of us to benefit from.
Yeah, awesome. So let me share, the really simple thing that is kind of at the middle of my own practice is, you bring it back to there's a divine energy of the universe, right? And getting aligned with that. So that then creates the promise, you could call it, that we're actually all then cells or organs in the body of that divine energy, because we're in life. This omnipresence is full. We're in it. So clearly we were designed to be part of it. And then if that's true, we can drop down to the next one, which is its basis actually is love, if you had to put one word on it. And so, and then the more we give ourselves away or be in service to that whole, the better we feel. And so this is where I was sharing, in the daily practice, where I'm up and just like, boy, today we're gonna turn the faucet all the way on, all of the resource, whatever inspiration, whatever we can bring. We're gonna bring in Christy Whitman, for God's sakes, that can really bring us into the fullness of this divine energy, and we're part of it, and we're giving ourselves away in service and so on. Then just all of those things, I just find I get filled up. I get filled up because it's like the universe wants to fill me up, because the universe actually is wanting to fill everybody up, because we're all part of that divine energy. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's and it makes it so simple that I don't, I don't, it's a really, really simple one that I just can walk around in all day. Okay, so many directions.
Can I just say
Yeah.
something really quick, Steve, on that?
Please do.
A
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of time, a lot of times when someone is not feeling good or they're in despair, or they're in fear, or they're worried, finding love, right? Finding that space of love or finding that space of joy is a really big vibrational jump. And so I just want to insert here that if anybody is in that space of feeling bad or they're just wrestling with something, the energy that neutralizes, which is also available to all of us at all times, and we all need this. So this I find is one of the most important resources, and I am so grateful that the council brought this through. It's been 5 years that I've been channeling them now. It went like that. But this is one of the first things that they taught me, because I didn't know how to have self-compassion, because self-compassion for me felt like self-pity. Because there's a big difference between feeling sorry for yourself and compassion. And so just even what we talked about, bringing in that energy of compassion. Compassion is soothing, it's nurturing, it's comforting. It's like someone giving you a nice warm blanket on a cold day where you just go, oh, you just feel all comfortable. And so having that energy come through us, that's like in the second bucket, it's like compassion neutralizes us to what doesn't feel good. And most of us try to give compassion to others, but we don't have it for ourselves. And you can't ever give away what you don't have. So as we are allowing ourselves to feel more of this compassion energy for ourselves, even if we notice we have negative thought or a false belief comes up, or we push up against one of our limits, as we allow ourselves to feel that compassion, and there's many ways of doing this, it's feeling the energy of it first, and then taking it to the next level, and our physical touch, right? If you were going to have a granddaughter or a child, you would touch their face, or you would caress them. And it's like, we need to be able to do that to ourselves, grab our shoulders and give ourselves a squeeze, and just, it's going to be okay. It might be touching our heads or our face, or, touching our hearts. And that physical touch, whether it's, rubbing your leg, whatever it is that feels soothing, that permission to give yourself that soothing touch, that helps you ground, and it helps your nervous system calm down, and it helps you really feel that sense of soothing and comfort. So there's the energy, there's the physical touch, and then even the words that we say, right? Then bringing in compassionate words and thoughts. It's going to be okay. You know what? Things always work out for you. Hey, you've been in this situation before. It's going to be okay. You got through it before. You'll get through it now. Something that is a compassionate way of talking to yourselves. I know this doesn't feel good right now, but this too shall pass. And doing that and creating more compassion within ourselves helps us create a different vibration that we're sending out into the universe. And from that set point, or that reset, if you will, then you can choose to connect more with love or joy or whatever it is that you're wanting. And it's not so big of a gap and big of a jump.
Yeah, thank you. Such an important point, because there's some, Louise Hay, in her lifetime, I think this was really what she would write about just exclusively, because as our starting point, as you mentioned, this is kind of where we're starting from, is I'm just not all there. I'm not finding it easy to kind of go play these higher piano keys. Where are we going to start here to get things going? And that self-compassion, to just kind of lift ourselves up, get that elevator up, so we can start feeling better, so this whole spilling over thing can start going on, is crucial. So thank you for bringing that in. That's beautiful. And so the council, and boy, if Christy does channel the council, which is an amazing wisdom from the non-physical realm. So I think Christy was going to bring in the council for about 15 minutes. And it just takes her a moment to really let the council come in. And then this is a real treat, people. Boy, there's so much wisdom here. It's amazing.
We are here. Hello, delights. We are always happy to be invited to the party. Hello, Steve. How are you today?
I am wonderful. And the council, thank you so much for coming into our program. You've been with us now on a few of these programs. And, as you know, Christy and I were just talking about how you bring this wisdom in this really grounded way that helps people live this, where we talk about the notion of living consciously. Maybe we start there. And of course, Christy and I come back and forth on this. But in today's world here, post-COVID, and also with extreme weather and all of these, even right there, Christy, my God, had to evacuate her home. Extreme weather there in Scottsdale. There are people experiencing that all over the world. So we're inviting people to live consciously so we can take better care of ourselves and the planet. Maybe that'd be a beautiful place to start.
Well, let's just even talk about what is consciously. It's being aware. Because what is unconscious or subconscious, you're not aware of. So it's what do you want to be aware of? What do you want to be conscious of? And having that awareness, that understanding, and that knowledge, that's consciousness. And when you say, I want to be conscious, well, what do you want to be conscious of? Really taking that a step further. You want to be conscious of the pure positive energy that exists for you right now. Well, just by your intention, that starts to coalesce into your experience. I want to be conscious of how I can get in better health, or how I can become more abundant, or have more success, or shift this relationship. Well, just by putting your focus on that particular area of your life and having yourself be aware, be present, to be able to feel into what is, not just what is on the lower level, meaning what is or what has manifested, but what is supporting you. What divine presence and power is breathing you. We've said this a couple of weeks in our community, that many people right now are feeling that they are just buried under boulders. Like, just the hits keep coming. They feel like they just keep getting buried and buried and buried. And what most people are doing is they're taking their consciousness and they're looking at the boulder, and they're sizing up the boulder and saying, oh, yeah, look at that. It's made of granite and it's 2 feet tall and 3 feet wide. And they're focusing on the boulder. And that's where they stay in their disempowerment, looking at the things that have buried them from the boulders. But when you start to shift your consciousness, your awareness, your understanding, your knowledge, when you start to shift inside of yourself and realize there is an igniting, there is a flame, an internal flame that is burning. How do we know this? Because it burns for all of you that are in a physical life experience. In other words, you're alive. If you are alive, it's not too late. As you start to fan that flame of that internal wisdom and light within you, and the focus, your consciousness goes to the focus of that part of you, then what happens is that part grows. And it's like those boulders become as light as styrofoam. It's like being in a styrofoam pit. You can easily crawl out of it. It's like being the Hulk. And these things are like little gravel or pebbles to you now. If you are still alive, it does not matter what your life experiences have been or what you're struggling with right now. There is the divine within you that has the power to heal. Now, what is heal? What is healing? Healing is from moving from one vibration to another. So as Christy was talking about before, if you're moving from a place of fear into a place of compassion, you have just healed. It's as simple as that, because all healing happens when you are readjusting your vibrational frequency. That is healing. And you can have a healing in any moment, in any second, on any subject, because that internal part of you, that divine, that's breathing you, that's beating your heart, that's animating your mind, that's growing your hair and your fingernails, that's digesting your food. All of that is for you. It's always been for you. And so the real idea then is, if this part is for me, if this part is positive, if this part is leading me to more of my divine design of love and support and abundance and success and well-being and wholeness, then what part of me, the personality me, is not going along with that? Is it a thought? Is it what I'm saying can't or should? Is it my perspective and what I'm picturing inside of my mind, my belief? Is it a constant feeling that I'm having? What is it that pushes against the truth that my divine, that is breathing me, that is my true life partner in this experience? What part of me is not going along for the ride? Because that, as you have the awareness of that, well, I have a thought that it's not going to work out for me. Well, that thought, which leads to a belief, and then you see evidence and go, see, it's not working out for me. That is against, it's pushing against, it's going in the opposite direction of the divine that knows that things are always working out for you. And so there's that split. That's where you have split energy within you. And when you have split energy within you, that's where you create wanted, but mostly unwanted in certain situations. And so by having that conscious awareness, you can then say, that thought feels bad. And if that thought feels bad, that thought does not go with the divine who loves me infinitely. That thought that doesn't feel good doesn't match up with the greater part of who I am. And so it's up to me. I have free will and choice to change that thought. I can change that thought to a thought that actually feels better, such as, things tend to work out. Things don't always work out, but sometimes they do. I choose to believe that things will work out. I choose to believe that the universe does love me because I'm still alive. This is the evidence of it. How do I know the universe or the God or divine, however you want to call it, loves me? Because you're here. So because I'm here, still in a physical body, no matter what the conditions are of my life, because there's still presence of life within me, it means I then have that presence and power to come back in alignment with who I really am, to co-create, to have my divine life partner. And for me, it's like there's the divine and then there's you. There's two of you sitting in that chair right now, the divine part of you and the personality part of you. As the two of you merge into one. And how do you do that? By releasing your pain points, by releasing those split points of the split energy. Each time you shift back into a thought that feels better or that is in compassion, that's not in a place of negativity, each time you do that, you come into alignment and you gather more power, you gather more power, you gather more power. You strengthen your alignment, you strengthen your divine consciousness and not oppose the divine consciousness. So there's consciousness. There's some people that have a consciousness of being in negativity. But it's what consciousness you intend to be into and live into and experience into your own unique life. Remember, that spark, that divine, no matter how big the boulders may seem, and no matter how many you may seem you're buried in, that spark of divinity is there. And as you focus on it, it gets bigger and it grows, and you can feel the connection. You can feel the light. You can feel the love, and then you can shift your energy. It's all about mastering your own energy to what you want to experience in your life. All of you have this power. You all have the power to push a reset button on any subject at any point in your lives. It's time you will remember your power and start utilizing it.
Counsel, thank you. So if in 5 or 6 minutes, if it's possible, just a two-part question. One is the daily practice that you'd recommend that creates that vibrational set point that brings in all of that, as you mentioned, the two, personality and divine coming together, what you might recommend as that daily practice. And then the second part of the question is, we all have kids or even our partner or family members or friends or coworkers that are really don't understand this and aren't trying to understand it, and they're just kind of under that dark cloud. Using Christy's terminology, they're playing those low notes on the piano, and life is very hard. And what can we do in these situations with these people that we love in our lives?
Well, first of all, we would, as a daily practice, the minute that you realize that you are one of the very blessed, gifted people in the universe that opened your eyes today and have a new, fresh day, that you get to pause and just say, thank you. Just a simple, I'm alive, a new day, thank you. Because most people go, oh God, I didn't have enough sleep. I didn't feel good enough. I don't have enough time to do. They're already starting their day in lack. So by pausing and realizing, my eyes are open, I'm awake. Thank you. By thanking the divine for partnering with you in this day, you're acknowledging right away that divine. And then the second thing that we would do is say, okay, I'm alive, I'm awake. I have a whole day in front of me before I go back to sleep and find myself back in this bed. What do I want to feel? What energy do I want supporting me in this day? And like Christy was talking about earlier, asking for that energy. It might be the energy of compassion if you find yourself waking up in lack. It might be, I feel pretty good. So today I want to just feel good. I want to continue to feel good. No matter what comes, I just want to feel good. So you bring in the energy of light, imagining a downpouring of light filling you up and seeing that light go out throughout every moment of your day, pre-paving light throughout your day. As you think of someone or something, sending them light, sending your interaction with them light, sending a project or someone you're meeting with or someone you're going to have breakfast with. And that changes everything in your own field. Now, as you go throughout your day, it's like when you wake up in the morning, naturally, you probably have to drink some water. You have to maybe pee or urinate. You dispose of what's happening in the body. You don't do that just once. You do that throughout your day. You take sips of water throughout your day. You refresh yourself. You eat throughout your day. You're a human being. It's not just one thing you do and you're done for the day. You don't go to the bathroom once and you're done for the day. So as you're doing these things, also remember to check in with your energy and fill yourself up. When you feel your energy dipping, pausing, and then filling yourself back up. So refilling yourself up is key all throughout your day. Notice yourself dipping, bring in the energy. And your second question is, as you shift your own energy, nobody else has to change in order for you to feel good. And nobody else has to believe in energy or consciousness or vibration in order for you to feel your alignment with your divine. That's an inside job. But the beauty of it is, as you are tending to your own vibration, the others will either rendezvous out of your life, or you'll zig and they'll zag, or they'll come closer to you. We will tell you that we know for a fact, Christy's mother, who is 87 years old, who very much lives in struggle, she's never done a day of energy work in her life and lives very unconsciously, lives very much in a space of struggle and drama and chaos. But Christy has changed her relationship with her mother, not by her mother and her doing the work, by Christy doing the work, by Christy bringing in the energy of compassion when her mom is critical, by Christy bringing in the energy of compassion when something rude has been said, by Christy bringing in the energy of abundance when lack is being talked about. And so Christy finds that she can still have a relationship with her mother, even though her mother will not ever do this type of work, but she can still have that kind of relationship with her. So just remember, whether it's your kids or your partners or the in-laws or the outlaws or whoever is in your life that is negative or that they're stuck in their own pain bodies, as you give compassion to yourself for seeing and witnessing the pain in them, yes, giving yourself compassion first, you can then send them compassion. And they then have their own free will and choice as to whether they're going to pop in to that compassion, energy, and light, or if they are not. But you get to feel good in the process. We surround each of you in so much light and remind each of you that you are infinitely loved. Be well, dear
Oh,
ones.
boy. Beautiful. Counsel, thank you so much.
Indeed.
Christy's coming back. That was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. So much wisdom there. So much wisdom there. I love it, where there's a lot to unpack. I won't try and unpack all of that because we all heard it together, but starting with just thanking the divine, for another day at the beginning of the day, coming in, becoming light filled, and then sending that light to others, which is another beautiful thing, right? We can think of our son, our wife, our, a coworker. We can send that light, that love to them, and then where there are challenges, and that was really really nice that you could be so personal and open there, and sharing of your own, of a personal experience in your life. We all have those, of course, Christy, right? Whether it's our mother, sometimes it's who we're married to, our kids, coworkers. In today's world, we're pioneers in this, actually. That's why we are doing this work, because we didn't grow up with this being taught in the classroom, right? So we got to learn it. That's part of what we're calling the conscious journey, this education where we learn these things that we were not taught growing up. And so it, and also there's no real destination, because there's more and more wisdom that comes, isn't there, Christy? It's not
Always.
like there's just an end zone and it stops or something.
Well, it's interesting too. As long as I've been doing this, I realize that, to try to let go of every limit, every block, that we ever had, wherever we grow, we're always going to have more. So it's knowing how to master our energy and not expecting there not to be any obstacles or blocks or limitations. It's understanding and recognizing when they come and then what to do with when they do. Because it's not like, okay, I am done with growth. I get to live like, the rest of my life. Wouldn't that be great? I mean, I'm putting enough hours and, working enough on myself. I thought, dang, maybe someday that'll happen. It's the way of the world. We, even if everything in our life is perfect, right? contrast still exists. And so it's understanding how to move past the contrast and get back into the flow of what we want to experience in our lives.
Yeah,
So.
amen, exactly. So now Christy needs to leave. Before you do, I want to read you 2 comments, Christy. So one is from Lee, and Lee says, Christy, you resonate with me. I appreciate you. The counsel and the wisdom you offer is appreciated. And then Duncan says, this is just what I wanted to hear today: compassion for self, others, and ultimately all will lead one to love. So 2 big fans out there, and thank you, Lee and Duncan. We feel the same way. Christy, thank you.
Thank you.
And people can go to what website to find your work here, Christy?
You could go to watchyourwords.com, and that's a free 10-day program on how to get started watching your words and shifting your language. It's a video program. Or you can go to christywhitman.com.
Okay,
So,
fantastic.
thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you, Christy. We'll see you again here soon. Look forward to having you back. Thank you. Okay, so everybody, we're going to go, as you know, Humanities Team, we're a 501c3 nonprofit, and this huge initiative that we started about 1.5 years ago is called Changing Humanity's Future. And it's all about this whole inside out job that we were just discussing, where we first become conscious. And when we say conscious, we're referring to just aligning ourselves with this divine energy of the universe, with the universe itself. And as highly evolved beings do on other planets out in the universe, just becoming aligned with that energy, living a beautiful life as we always do when we become aligned with it. And then what we naturally do as well is we steward the planet. We take care of each other. We go to our own station in life where it's really all about serving life first, right? It's what we naturally do when we're conscious, when we go through our awakening experience. So we're going to go and take a quick look at about a 1-minute video that we've created. We've created a whole bunch of videos that we're starting a campaign out on social media for this Changing Humanity's Future initiative. It's seeking to make what we're calling conscious living pervasive worldwide by 2040, so that our kids and future generations can enjoy this beautiful planet. And we don't have to talk about going to Mars, because we instead do a U-turn, and create the beautiful planet that we want right here on our home, the Earth. So let's go take a look at this video real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up.
What do you mean by living consciously? When your consciousness, your kindness, your goodness, your compassion, your understanding, your generosity, your carefulness with the earth and with the earth's people, when all of that rubs off on others, it shows them the way they've been looking for to experience their own life more wonderfully, joyfully, peacefully, and fulfillingly. And yes, more consciously. That's what's meant by consciousness. To live consciously.
Okay, and big thank you to Neil Donald Walsh, my co-founder here of Humanities Team, who was in that ad. You can learn more about the initiative by going, you can see it on the screen, go to changinghumanitiesfuture.org. And there's lots of resources there on the page that gets to this whole inside out job, where we start with ourselves, which is why Christy's work is so important, and this wisdom from the council is so important, because it's talking about how we can come into each day where we light ourselves up, amp ourselves up, really feel that love, that light, let that floodlight from the universe, from the divine herself, come in, where we feel it, and we go into co-creation mode, and we carry that energy around with us all day. And then when enough of us do this together, bang, the Malcolm Gladwell thing, right? The tipping point where 8 to 10% of the planet starts living this way, then we create a whole new way of living on the earth, where we start serving life first. That's our function and purpose here in Humanities Team. So, hey, thank you everybody for joining us. we're going to pull the camera back. I want to just acknowledge the team here in Humanities Team, my partners and colleagues that make this program and all of our programs possible. That's me on the couch. That's Jim Gray over there in our studio. Jim, thanks so much. Another great day here with Christy Whitman. Also want to thank Nanette Kennedy, Garth Catterall, Dee Meyer, Andy Guski, Karen Watson, lots of them, too many names to to get to here, but my partners and colleagues that make these broadcasts and the Global Oneness Summit. It's free, and coming up around the corner, our new masterclasses, the streaming platform that make all of these things possible. Thank you to my partners in Humanities team. And then thank you again in the studio. I can see you guys here in my studio. I can see you on camera, so I'm going to wave at you. Thanks for being here live with me and Christy today. It's fun to have a live audience with us. And then all the Humanities team folks out there on Facebook and Sign Network folks, thank you all for joining us today. We'll be back with you live next Wednesday, as we always are, 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time. So be sure to join us. Okay, thanks everybody. What a great hour here with Christy today. Appreciate being with you. Love and peace.